Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today is day 9 of my 31 days of horror reviews. And as you can see, I don't have a movie in my hands today. I'm reviewing a movie that I watched at the theater last night, which would be, of course, the horror movie that is really getting popular. And no, it's not Smile. I have not seen that one yet, and I actually plan on doing that, but that's neither here nor there. But I watched Terrifier 2, and here are my thoughts on Terrifier 2. First off, Terrifier 2 is probably the best slasher movie in quite a long time. We'll get that right out of the way. Everybody does a great job in this movie. The acting, huge step up from part one. The characters are actually well written, they're fleshed out, and they're believable. Art the Clown, scarier this time around. Um, More menacing, and I'm going to go into reasons why later on. Um, it was just like everything is such a step up in like the acting department. Um, the music this time is better as well. It's certainly more memorable than the first film. And yeah, everything in this film really just felt like a huge step up. Um, and that brings me to the first thing here. In a slasher movie, we're not coming to this for the storyline, right? We're coming to this to see some teenagers get cut to pieces, or in this case, people of pretty much every age, because Art the Clown does not discern in this movie. Um, so we care about the kills, right? Okay, when I say that the kills in this film are graphic and shocking, that's coming from someone who's seen countless slasher movies, countless horror movies, and can say without a doubt, this is the most brutal, gory, violent, sick movie that I've ever seen in a theater. Um, the kills in this are some of the goriest kills I've ever seen in a horror movie in general. Um, for fans of the first one, if you saw we all remember the hacksaw part. It doesn't even hold a candle to anything. Like literally any of the kills in this second movie are more brutal than that. There's not a single one that I would say is even on the same level. It's so far beyond. Um, it's so brutal, in fact, that during the movie, two people walked out of the theater halfway through. Um, Presumably because of how violent it was. There was people audibly gasping in the theater. People audibly saying, "Oh my God!" in the theater. Like nasty stuff. My girlfriend, who I watched it with, closed her eyes and covered her eyes several times, and she's seen a lot of stuff with me as well. And this one turned her stomach. Um, it's very, very graphically violent. I don't want to spoil anything here because it's still in theaters and everything. This is not like an old movie. This is one that a lot of people haven't seen yet, obviously. And it's not even a wide release yet. It's in several theaters in the U.S., and I was lucky enough to get to go to see one because it was relatively close to our location. Um, but I know it's not out overseas yet, and it's I believe it's coming to Blu-ray overseas in the UK at least by the end of the month. I think the US Blu-ray release is like January though, which is weird. But yeah, the kills in this, if you're a slasher movie fan, it's going to be very satisfying. The kills in this are probably going to break you off of every other slasher movie around. They're creative, they're extremely over the top and gory, but not like cartoonishly so. They're like very brutal, gnarly stuff, and yeah, Art the Clown is just deranged in this. He was creepy in the first, but he's like this brutal killer in the first one, but this one really like amplifies that, where he becomes like this iconic villain now because like we see almost he still doesn't talk in this one, but we do get his character fleshed out a little bit more, just through visuals. And if you watch this, you'll see what I mean. But we learn a little bit more about him too. Not enough that it completely explains him and removes that like fear factor there. So I thought that was balanced really well too. But he is far more deranged in this, like inhumanly brutal, just nasty. Art the Clown is definitely going to be the next. Well, I mean, if he wasn't already, but this is like definitely going to be one of the new faces of horror for a long time going forward. Um, but yeah, away from the kills, the acting, like I said, pretty good all the way around. Um, I know that there was some people that were like, um, well, I want to talk about like one specific piece. This is because I found it odd. The performance was good, but Felissa Rose, many of you know her from Sleepaway Camp, um, is in this movie, but uh, really, I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I was more just surprised, I guess, that she wasn't in it more. She's in it for maybe like 2 or 3 minutes max. And it's a 2.5 hour long movie, so yeah, um, that was kind of weird to have somebody like um, somebody that's like almost an icon in horror on their own be kind of wasted in this. I would say like in such a small minor role. Um, but I think the real breakout star of this film is actually going to be Elliot Fulham. I know personally, um, I knew him from Little Punk People on YouTube um, from a while ago. I believe that channel is still running. But if you know what Little Punk People is, he as a kid he would interview people in the metal and um, punk communities, and like it was like a wholesome YouTube show, and it was pretty popular. He's went on to make music and stuff, and now he's broken into acting. But he actually does a good job in this. Usually, in horror movies, child actors are definitely hit or miss, especially like first time actors. And this was, I believe, one of his first roles, other than like some um, voice acting work. But he actually did a good job. Yeah, plays his role really well, and for such a he's one of the main people in this film. Um, yeah, definitely did a good job in this. Shockingly so, actually, very realistic in the way that he plays everything. Um, the other actress, let me see her name here really quick. Um, Lauren Lavera, who played Sienna in the film, which is the female lead, also did a really good job. Very believable character. The character is well written, well fleshed out. Yeah, which is a surprise because Terrifier 1, none of the characters really like jump out at you. You're watching that movie more for the gore and like Art the Clown and everything, but this one has like an actually developed story and characters, which was really surprising. Um, and I guess that is how it should be, considering the film is almost 2.5 hours long. It's just a couple of minutes short of that, and I have to admit I was very skeptical going into the film. Even as a fan of the first Terrifier, I was skeptical. 2.5 hours seemed like a lot, but I'm happy to say the pacing in this is actually really good. None of the 2.5 hour runtime, like, it doesn't feel that long. None of the time is wasted. There's no like filler parts. It just gives more time to sort of develop the characters, but there's never anything boring. There's always like the threat of Art the Clown directly, so there's never a breathing moment in this entire film. Um, and it's just really good. Definitely going to be heaping praise on this for a while. Really, if I had any complaints, it would just be that there's not really a twist at the end, but sort of like a major plot point about something. Um, Even compared to the rest of the film, is pretty far fetched and like almost doesn't fit tonally. But I actually sort of dug it for what it means, and like it's sort of a new thing, and I think a lot of people are going to dislike it, so it's worth mentioning. But it doesn't affect the rest of the film. It doesn't affect the ending or anything. It's just one small minor thing like involving magic. It's not really a spoiler, but yeah, or not, if not magic, like some ancient prophecy or whatever, which was kind of weird, but I dug it for that. But that's really the only thing I could see really anybody complaining about. I don't think there's anything to complain about otherwise. This movie's damn near perfect, in my opinion. If you enjoyed the first Terrifier, you're going to love this one. If you're, you know, lukewarm on the first one or didn't even enjoy it, still give this one a go. Um, as long as you don't like absolutely hate Art the Clown for whatever reason as a character, just because he's done this one so much. But everything from the first one was improved upon here, so highly recommended. Definitely my favorite horror film of the year so far. If you can watch it, go watch it. It's fantastic. I'm very excited to watch this again. If not at the theater, I'm definitely going to be purchasing this one. It's a great movie to watch with friends. I feel like this is going to be a new Halloween tradition as well during October. This is a fantastic movie. Future cult classic for sure. Damien Leone really outdid himself this time. And yeah, definitely check this one out. If you're going to watch any 2022 horror movie, I would say it's between this and Pearl. Um, and I would say Terrifier, honestly, for me, takes that cake just because it's like, it's everything I wanted in a slasher movie. It proves the slasher genre is still alive, and horror films can just be that. Like, they don't have to be any more than just a dude hacking up people, and it's great for that. It's straightforward, and it's a hell of a time. So go check it out. That's it for today, though. Going to be coming back tomorrow with another review. Probably for Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. That was going to be for today. I try to keep the channel positive, but I was kind of lukewarm on it at the end. But we'll see. Um, yeah, as always, though, I've been your host, Herschel Gillis. Zero thoughts, zero planning, zero editing, and zero brain cells. I'm signing off for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to keep notifications on, and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.